Hey there, movie fans. Scott Movie Mantz here with a brand new episode of Rank and File. I know it's been a while since I did one of these, but I was watching the brand new Disney Plus series, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, with this new Captain America played by Wyatt Russell, and I was thinking about how much I missed Steve Rogers. I missed Chris Evans as Captain America, so I thought now would be the perfect time to go back and rank all of the Captain America movies with Chris Evans. That includes the Avengers films, because Chris Evans, as you will see, really crushed it. The range that he brought to this character, the dedication, the commitment. Let's get right to it with number 7 on the list, which is Avengers Age of Ultron, directed by Joss Whedon. Release date May 1st, 2015. It cost $250 million. The domestic gross is $459 million. Worldwide gross $1.4 billion. I like Age of Ultron. It's entertaining. It's fun. It's not as good as its predecessor. The better Avengers movies were yet to come. I just felt like the first movie was such a great surprise and a worthy film because of the way it brought the Avengers together. But the story for this one, it just didn't feel big enough. Now, it has its merits, especially the love story between the Hulk and Black Widow. And it is great to see all these characters together. But overall, this is not one that stayed with me. And when I rewatched Age of Ultron again, it didn't really hold up. It didn't really stay with me. Fun for what it is, but not much more. Definitely not as good as its predecessor, which comes in at number 6, Marvel's The Avengers. Director Joss Whedon. Release date May 4th, 2012. Cost is $220 million. Domestic gross $623 million. An Oscar nominee for Best Visual Effects. Now, when this movie came out in 2012, it was the culmination of Phase 1 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So we had the individual films. We had the first Iron Man, the first Captain America, the first Thor, even the first Incredible Hulk with a different Hulk, Edward Norton. And it all came to a head with the first Avengers movie. And it was exactly what the fans wanted. Great film to see all these characters come together and find their way and butt heads. Because not only are they superheroes, they have super egos. So it's kind of fun to watch them tiptoe around each other and try to make it work. This is also the first time we have seen Chris Evans play Captain America in the 21st century. So he wakes up, and this is really the first time that he has had to adapt to this brave new world and also adapt to the other superheroes around him in this movie. And I feel like Chris Evans really was better in this film. You could see that Chris Evans is much more comfortable. There's good tension between Cap and Iron Man. Great chemistry between Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. Chemistry that would continue to get better in the movies to come. But the story was a little bloated, and I felt like the last hour of the film was just nonstop action. And I don't mean that in a good way, because after a while, I did get battle fatigue. But I did enjoy the Avengers very much. Moving up to number 5 on the list is Captain America, the First Avenger. Directed by Joe Johnston. Release date July 22nd, 2011. The budget is $140 million. Domestic gross $176.6 million. Worldwide gross $370 million. Here it is, the first performance by Chris Evans as Captain America, and this comes after 2 performances where he played Johnny Storm, aka the Human Torch, in 2 Fantastic Four movies. I like both those movies. They're not great. They're more for families, but I think now that Fantastic Four is back in the MCU, or in the MCU for the first time, I think we're really going to get a great Fantastic Four movie. At least I sure hope so. And as Captain America, Chris Evans did a great job. He's really good in the role in this movie. I think better performances by Chris Evans as Cap were yet to come. He's still kind of finding his way. I love the look of this first Captain America. The production design, the retro feel takes place during World War II. It feels like an Indiana Jones movie, but also because of the production design, there's no other movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe that looks quite like the first Avenger. I love the chemistry between Chris Evans and Haley Atwell, who played Agent Peggy Carter, and that sets this up as a love story. The first Avenger really is a love story that sets up a very emotionally satisfying payoff in the final Avengers movie, and we'll get to that. The visual effects of this movie are really terrific, especially when it comes to the way they showed skinny Steve Rogers. I mean, he is in the movie a lot. I just rewatched the first Avenger recently, and I like it more now than I did when it came out in 2011. And I think the reason for that is I appreciate it more, and I could see where the MCU went, especially where the character of Captain America went. So I was able to appreciate the first Avenger a whole lot more, and I think it holds up, and I think it's better now than it was when it first came out. Moving up to number 4 on the list is Avengers Infinity War, directed by Joe Russo and Anthony Russo. Release date April 27, 2018. Budget is $321 million. Domestic gross $678 million. Worldwide gross is $2.048 billion. Oscar nominee for Best Visual Effects. This is it, the beginning of the end. A worthy Avengers film. That's because it has a very worthy opponent in Thanos, played by Josh Brolin. He is amazing. This guy means business. Now, the movie suffers a bit from trying to set everybody up. There is so much to this movie, so many characters, and it works better as a setup than as a standalone film, but it's still very exciting, amazing action, amazing visual effects. And we see a bearded Captain America, Chris Evans, taking the character to another level, because after the events of Civil War, which we will get to, he is disillusioned and he's feeling the burden of being Captain America and being separated from the rest of the Avengers, of being on bad terms with Tony Stark, Iron Man. And the movie ends on an incredible cliffhanger when half the characters disappear, and you really get the sense that many of them are indeed goners, but of course they're not. Moving up to number 3 is Captain America: Civil War, directed by Joe Russo and Anthony Russo. Release date May 6, 2016. The cost is $250 million. Domestic gross $408 million. Worldwide gross $1.15 billion. Captain America Civil War is an amazing film. It feels like an Avengers movie. It is an Avengers movie. They should have just called it Avengers Civil War. But Captain America does have a great role in this, because basically it comes down to a choice. Do the Avengers stay free like Captain America wants them to, or do they listen and go under the United Nations like Iron Man wants to? And therein lies the Civil War. This is the first time we are seeing Spider-Man, played by Tom Holland. It is also the first time we are seeing Black Panther, played by the great Chadwick Boseman. And rewatching this film, I did get very emotional seeing the scenes with Chadwick Boseman in them. I just wish we could get more of him. Everyone talks about the airport battle, which is alone worth the price of admission, but there are so many other elements to Captain America Civil War. This is a very sophisticated film talking about the price of having heroes and the way having these heroes led to more catastrophes. It's very provocative. It really makes you think. Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans are so great together when they come head to head. The final moments of Civil War, when it gets so personal between Tony Stark and between Steve Rogers, it's like a Shakespearean tragedy, and this movie knocks it out of the park. Excellent film, Captain America Civil War. Moving up to number 2 on the list, Avengers Endgame, directed by Joe Russo and Anthony Russo. Release date April 26, 2019. Budget $356 million. Wow, that's the budget. Domestic gross $858 million. Worldwide gross $2.797 billion. And that makes it the second highest grossing movie of all time. It was the highest grossing movie of all time for about a year, but then They re-released Avatar overseas and it took the top spot again. So I think the time has come for Disney to re-release Avengers Endgame in theaters. I sure would love to see this movie back on the big screen. But Avengers Endgame, what a movie. Not just a great sequel, but this is the culmination of a 22 film series. The first 3 phases of the Marvel Cinematic Universe came to a very satisfying conclusion. This is the return of the king of the MCU. Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans are both superb in this movie with amazing performances. The emotional payoff of Steve Rogers as Captain America when he goes back in time to live his life with the love of his life, Peggy Atwell, and you see him older at the end of the film, and he's happy because he had his time with her, and he's going to keep all that to himself. But then when he hands off the shield to the Falcon, Sam Wilson, played by the awesome Anthony Mackie, setting up what we will now see in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It just made me appreciate this great arc of Captain America over all of these films, and it made me appreciate the amazing performances of Chris Evans as Captain America. But that means that the #1 movie on this rank and file for Captain America is The Winter Soldier, directed by Joe Russo and Anthony Russo. Release date April 4th, 2014. Budget $170 million. Domestic gross $260 million. Worldwide gross $714 million. Oscar nominee for Best Visual Effects. Now, when I first saw this movie in April 2014, I was really surprised. I was blown away by how great this movie is. Not just because of the action scenes, not just because it feels like a mini Avengers movie, but just because of the political thriller aspect. It feels like a throwback to the 70s conspiracy thrillers, some of which starred Robert Redford, who is in this movie as the baddie. And having Robert Redford in a superhero movie like this just gives it so much more credibility. But with this film, so this is the 3rd time that Chris Evans is playing Captain America. After the first Avenger and after the first Avengers movie, I felt like this is Chris Evans's best performance as Captain America. You can feel how confident he is. He really grabbed the role this time. He's so much more confident in the role. He has great chemistry with Scarlett Johansson in this movie. It is a really smart story. And I love what happens with S.H.I.E.L.D., the way Hydra infiltrates S.H.I.E.L.D. The stakes are very, very high. The action scenes are amazing. I love the elevator fight scene in the S.H.I.E.L.D. building. I also, the attack on Nick Fury. And this is the first time that we're seeing Anthony Mackie as the Falcon, Sam Wilson. Anthony Mackie is such a great actor, and I'm so glad to see him in his own series, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. But Captain America, The Winter Soldier, it's really fun. It's action-packed. It's full of heart and humor. Basically, this is as good as it gets and really is one of the greatest superhero movies of all time. In my top 5 for sure. So, what do you think of this ranking of the Captain America films? Let me know in the comments below or hit me up on Twitter and Instagram, actually, at Movie Mantz. Make sure you share this episode of Rank and File. Make sure you subscribe. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can see every episode of Rank and File. You can watch me rank the movies of the Star Trek films, Star Wars, Alien, Spider-Man, the Bourne films. So be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is Scott Mantz. And until the next episode of Rank and File, here's looking at you, kid.